Yo, what is up, my friends? Welcome back into the podcast. Yet another episode of Crushing Fantasy Football. I am Bryce Lockridge, your host of the show. Guys, today I got some juicy content for you. We are talking buy low trade targets. The market is hot right now. There's a lot of really good players that are going to be great season-long ads that have underperformed this week or this past couple of weeks. And some players in your league might be low on these guys right now, and it's the perfect time to buy low on these players and add a stud to your roster. All right, guys, I'm going to get right into it. But, guys, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel so I can keep giving you content throughout the season and off-season. And if you do enjoy my content today, give me a like, as likes help my channel tremendously. All right, guys, I'm going to get into my first buy low trade target, and that's Amari Cooper. He is one of the best buy low trade targets in all of fantasy football right now. He plays for an elite offense. His size, route running ability, and overall talent give him wide receiver one upside from week to week. And look, guys, we saw it today. When the Cowboys are involved in a closer game, the targets for both Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb fly through the roof. People were down on these receivers over the past month or so because the Cowboys were blowing the doors off of their opponents, and then they would just use their running backs to run clock because that's what the Cowboys do. When they have leads, they run the football. It's that simple. But this team has elite wide receivers. They've got a great quarterback in Dak Prescott, who's playing the best football of his life. And although CeeDee Lamb is out targeting Amari Cooper in the offense, it's still very slight. The talent level in these two wide receivers is pretty similar. They're two different kinds of wide receivers. But from an overall talent standpoint, they're both very, very good. And, Amari Cooper is going to get the ball in a lot of the high leverage situations for this team. All this combined with the fact that the Dallas Cowboys just have an overall great offense. Amari Cooper has a tremendous weekly ceiling, and he's going to give you some huge fantasy performances this year. We haven't seen the monster fantasy performance since week one. But look, guys, this dude is in the top 15 in all of the NFL as far as red zone targets for any position player. That includes tight ends and running backs and all pass catchers. Okay, Amari Cooper is a top 15 red zone target in all the NFL. So he's getting tons of high-value touches and a great offense. So add this dude to your roster while you have the chance. All right, my next buy low trade target is going to be Robert Woods. Okay, guys, I get it. It's the All Cooper Cup show for the Los Angeles Rams. But this is a very, very good offense. And any stud receiver in a great offense that's going to get a relatively healthy workload, you want to start on your team. This dude is going to be a little bit boom or bust this year. That's what I've realized. So I wouldn't count on the safe floor for Robert Woods, but the weekly ceiling is massive. We've only seen him have one huge game this year, but we know that he's going to have games where he does get targeted heavily. And it's probably going to be when the Rams are in closer games, okay? Because when teams are in closer games, they have to target all their stud players more because they're in more high leverage situations. So being the fact that they just blew the Giants out today, it didn't bode well for Robert Woods. Cooper Kupp still went off because he always does. It's he's a machine at this point. And I'm not saying that Robert Woods is going to come anywhere near Cooper Kupp production. We've seen that this is Cooper Kupp's team, but Robert Woods is still going to be a productive member of your fantasy football team. If you can scoop him up for your roster, he can still be a really good wide receiver too. My next buy low player is going to be Mike Evans. Guys, this is the best time ever to buy low on Mike Evans because, one, he just had a really bad week, only had like 24 receiving yards. And Antonio Brown has gone off 2 weeks in a row. So people that are extreme recency bias type of people, and that's a lot of people that play fantasy football, they only remember the last thing they saw. And the last thing they saw was that Mike Evans didn't get that many targets, only had 24 yards, and Antonio Brown's gone off the past 2 weeks, okay? This does not mean that's what's going to happen every single week. In fact, I would put my money on Mike Evans having just as many fantasy points this year as Antonio Brown, if not more, okay? Because we're talking about a super talented Mike Evans, one of the best wide receivers in all the NFL on a Tom Brady-led offense. This dude's weekly ceiling is tremendous. You've got to understand that he's boom or bust because there's so many mouths to feed in Tampa Bay. But Mike Evans is going to give you monster fantasy performances in at least 6 or 7 out of the weeks in the NFL going forward. So this is a great dude to add to your roster to give you huge boom performances and win you weeks single-handedly. Scoop this dude up for your roster while you have the chance. My next buy low is Terry McLaurin. Guys, I had Terry McLaurin in my buy lows last week. You can buy him even lower now and probably give up less to get him. This is one of the best buy low targets in fantasy football right now. He's an elite talent. I've been harping on this dude all offseason and all season long. This is one of the most talented wide receivers in the entire league. The offense runs through Terry McLaurin. He was still heavily targeted today. He still saw a ton of targets. This dude is used heavily in high leverage situations, and he gets a lot of valuable touches, a lot of red zone targets, everything like that. All the boxes are checked for this dude to be a beast, guys. You need to scoop this dude up. It's going to be the best time ever to buy low on Terry McLaurin, so add him to your roster while you have the chance. Next buy low is going to be Devonta Smith. Okay, guys, Devonta Smith, here's what you need to understand. He's going to be boom or bust. He's going to give you weeks where he gives you a complete dud, but I think that he actually gives you a pretty high weekly ceiling because the offense in Philadelphia is starting to click. Jalen Hurts is gaining some confidence, and the offense is just starting to look a lot better overall, and he's the clear-cut number one wide receiver on the team. Any number one wide receiver on a NFL roster is valuable for fantasy football. This dude is the number one, and the offense is getting better. So you can bet on the volume, and you can bet on the offense actually putting up some points. So this dude will be, I would say, a low-end wide receiver too, but more of a flex option for the rest of the year. Either way, if you need a flex option, buy low on Devonta Smith. Try to scoop him up from somebody else in your league, and he's going to be a fine flex option for the rest of the entire season. My next buy low is going to be DJ Moore. Guys, I also had DJ Moore in my buy lows this past week. But look, guys, DJ Moore, after Cooper Kupp, DJ Moore is the biggest target hog in all of fantasy football. This dude, he didn't produce massive fantasy output this past week. He only had 5 catches, but the dude had 13 targets. The offense just, it had some issues today moving the ball. But, guys, DJ Moore is one of the most talented wide receivers in the entire league. Him and Sam Darnold have had a very good connection all season. And look, Christian McCaffrey is going to be out even longer than we thought. When Christian McCaffrey's out, this is going to be a pass-first team, and DJ Moore is going to dominate the stat lines in fantasy football. He's going to be a top 5 wide receiver as long as Christian McCaffrey's out, and even when McCaffrey comes back, he's still a top 8 wide receiver, I'm pretty sure. So, guys, he just had 2 down weeks in a row. You need to scoop this dude up while you have the chance. He'll probably go off next week, and you're going to lose your chance to buy this guy and get him on your roster. So buy this dude while you have the chance. Okay, guys? All right, moving on to the running back position. A good buy low is going to be James Conner. Okay, guys? James Conner is getting all the red zone work and all the goal line work for the Cardinals. I'm not as high on Chase Edmonds as I was earlier in the season. This makes me even higher on James Conner, and he hasn't really produced monster fantasy performances in about 3 weeks, but he's getting the rushing volume. This dude's getting at least 12 carries a game. It's a little bit of a split backfield, but look, this dude is out-targeting Chase Edmonds heavily over the past 3 weeks, and he's still seeing at least a little bit of passing work. So you're still targeting him 2 or 3 times out of the backfield, so you're going to get at least some PPR points from that. And he's on what looks like the best offense in football, so his chances and odds of falling into the end zone every single week are pretty damn good. So start James Conner. Scoop James Conner for your team while you have the chance. Buy low on James Conner, guys. Okay, my next buy low target is going to be Tony Pollard. Guys, Tony Pollard is, going into this game, fun fact, I didn't know this, but Tony Pollard was averaging 6.3 yards per carry. Best yards per carry in the NFL by a long shot going into this game. Running behind a great offensive line. Obviously, Zeke is the man in Dallas, but what I'm trying to tell you guys is that Tony Pollard is going to be a great flex option all season long. Even when Zeke is playing, Tony Pollard is getting 10-plus carries a game. He's seeing targets out of the backfield. He's on one of the best offenses in the NFL, so he has a decent chance every week of falling in the end zone or even busting a big play and getting in the end zone. This dude's an elite talent, so scoop him up for your roster while you have the chance, guys. All right, those are my buy lows for the week, guys. Make sure to get these guys on your roster. There's a lot of buy lows this week that are going to be at their absolute lowest point for the entire season. I mean, they're going to shoot up quickly, so you've got to get these guys while they're low. I'm telling you guys, the market's hot. You need to scoop these guys up, all right? I hope this video helped, guys. Make sure to go trade for these players ASAP and improve your roster. You guys, I thank you for the support so far. I'm really enjoying doing this, and, you guys have a good day.